What's going on, guys? So today's going to be a little different video. I'm just wanting to talk about a few things. No editing, no intro, nothing like that, just raw. And some of you may have noticed that I haven't posted in a while on YouTube, and I have posted plenty on TikTok, but I haven't posted any fishing videos in quite a bit. And the reason for that is because I've been trying my best to get back to just fishing for fun, because I've noticed that the way things are going nowadays and the way fishing is set up and perceived by most people on the media is that if you're not catching giants, you're not that good. And I wanted to address this right now, right? And stuff like that, on how that's bullshit, right? So just because you're not catching 8-pounders or 5-pounders every time you go out to a lake doesn't mean you're not catching good ones. I mean, Brian Latimer said the same thing, and I watch a lot of Chris Johnson, and I fell into this trap already myself. I felt like because I wasn't catching a limit above 15 pounds every day that I wasn't doing good, right? That I wasn't a good fisherman, right? And it took me a while, but I figured out now that that is a complete bullcrap, right? Now, I personally do blame the social media guys on here, is because they make it seem that way. Like, if you're not catching absolute monsters and you're not going out on a spot and catching 15, 20 bass a day, then you're just sucking, right? And that can really suck the fun out of fishing and turn it into more of a job. And that's not what this is. You know, if you're out there and you're making casts and you catch 4 or 5, 2 to 3 to 4 pounders every day, or you catch a little dinky 13 inchers, you're still catching bass. And that's the point of this whole thing, right? We get so caught up in what the tournament guys are doing. And so in my mind, I break it down, fishing, into categories. One category is the tournament side of things. And then that's where some of the fun of fishing kind of gets ripped away, because it becomes more of a job. The other one is the literal angling. You're just fishing. Fishing for fun, you're doing it because you enjoy it, and that, I think, is the most important one. The tournament stuff is on the side of things. Especially with all the drama on the tournament stuff right now, with forward facing and the way things is, and the cost for everything, getting back to just catching fish is possibly the most important thing you can do, especially if you enjoy this. So separating the two out is very important. And I fell into this trap already myself, because up until now I've been like, whatever I can do to get more bass in the boat quickly, or these 2-pounders aren't enough, I need to get bigger ones, or these 3-pounders aren't enough, they're not enough to get me anywhere in fishing wise. And so I've been doing what I can to really just ignore a lot of the pro anglers or the fish tubers online that have been doing that, because I fell into that trap. And I just wanted to talk about what I'm doing to fix that. So just ignoring that, like, it doesn't matter. If you can go out and you can catch 4 bass in a day, you still caught them, right? Doesn't matter the length, you still caught bass. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what Joe Schmo online or Ben Milliken did, or Brian Latimer or Jacob Wheeler did online. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who gives a crap? They're not your fishing. Those are those guys. Don't let it ruin your fishing, because if you're trying to compare yourself to other people, you're never going to have fun. But just going out and catching fish, that's the key. And I'm really strong advocate on that, because I lost sight of it myself, and I see the detrimental effects it was having on me, feeling like I needed to be on those guys' level or even close to where I can go out and look at their highlight reel and ignore what I did all day, you know? So ignore the highlight reels online, right? Because you'll never see the behind the scenes for the most part. There are people that you can see online that will show you their all day, but it's not very common anymore, especially the big ones, because everything's all clickbait, right? And that leads me to my own YouTube career or social media journey here. I'm not here to try to make money off of this thing. I'm posting because I enjoy these. I enjoy getting my information out there. I have no delusions that I am ever going to be a major fish tuber. Between me having controversial opinions or just everything else, I'm just not going to do it. You know, I'm not going to be that big guy. I'm not going to get that cult following, right? I don't have the experience yet, and people just, they want something exciting and poppy, and I'm not that. Fishing isn't really that. So I'm also the guy, I don't like interacting a whole lot with people. I'm not a huge people person. I like being left alone, doing my own thing. Not a huge media guy. So me doing this is literally just a passion project for me. I could drop it pretty quick. It's not one of those that I'm going to put a mountain of effort in to do every day. So with that being said, I'm still going to be fishing tournaments. I'm still planning on doing that. It's just I'm going to pick back my fervor on it just a little bit. And I'm just going to do what I think's going to work. There's a million people online telling you about baits and this and that and this, and I'm not going to get lost in the noise. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And if people think it's wrong or they have an opinion on it, I'll happily hear your feedback. And I'll consider it, and then if it doesn't work out for me, then I'm not going to do that. It's not that complicated. It's not a personal attack on it. I will say that because of all of that, I got lost and started ignoring all the good things about fishing and just focused on the negative. And one of them is the people with bass fishing, right? Like a little story here, just quick for you. When I did the Touring Anglers Association's tournament, I was on day 2 and I got skunked on day 1. There was no way I was going to win any of my money back. There was probably no way I was going to make day 2. But I got it together and went out to go fishing again. And as I'm sitting there and we're in the lineup ready to go, this older gentleman, and I feel like crap because I can never remember his name. He came up to me and he handed me this little bitty topwater walking bait. And he said, "Hey, young man, take this bait and go over there to this point." And he pointed at a sunken trees in the area right on a corner. And he said, "You go over there and you catch yourself a limit." He was doing what he could to help me out and at least get me on the board. And he didn't have to do that. He really didn't. The younger, dumber me didn't take his advice, which is my fault. He gave me all the advice I needed, because when I went back there later, there were fish there plenty. And I just ignored it to do what I was doing instead of taking the advice of the good guy just trying to help. If I ever go back there, that's where I'm going to start, just to try to make up for me ignoring the advice he gave me. But the point is, all of this YouTube stuff and social media, you can get lost in the bad stuff, and just all the good stuff just kind of just gets thrown under the rug. And not to do that, man. You don't, there's so much stuff online. Like, you don't need a super expensive boat. You don't need the latest and greatest rod. You don't need the latest and greatest baits. You don't need super expensive fishing line. You don't need thousands of dollars in electronics to just go out there and catch fish. Now, that argument could be made at a high level tournament fishing. You might need it, but still, it kind of falls flat when you talk about just going out and catching fish. So that was my little talk. I'll be back on YouTube more later. Right now, it's just getting the boat fixed, getting life situated, and figure out where we're going to go from here. Not giving up on fishing, don't think that. And I'm still going to post videos on stuff that I think needs to be talked about, and this is one of them. So if you've stuck around this far, thank you. Appreciate it. Your support does mean a whole lot to me and everyone else that's working with me and supporting me up through this fishing endeavor. And just keep an eye out. I'll have a few more posted. If you have anything you want to say, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.